Welcome back, friends. I want to start this by saying that I have some very particular needs when it comes to art supplies. Mostly because I'm just a little bit weird. Which means that all of my needs are not the same as your needs. So you may love some of these art supplies. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt and keep in mind that what works for me may not work for you. Starting off, I want to talk about this HMI Jelly Gouache. I have been using this in a lot of videos because I just want to use it up. I made a whole video about this thing and why I don't like it. Basically, the gist of it is that I'm lazy. Because of that, a lot of my jelly gouache is drying up and I'm gonna have to replace it at some point. I have to figure out where I can buy these little containers of paint. This thing is also extremely bulky. This just doesn't cut it. I'll still be using it in upcoming videos, and if you want a more further in-depth analysis about why I don't really like it, you can go ahead and check out my old video. I mean, everything's in there. I spilled the tea. While we're on gouache, we have to talk about Artex's pudding gouache. I also did a video on these guys, and I thought they would be a lot better, but it turns out they're actually worse. For starters, I have not opened these in 6 months, and the paint has completely dried on the side, making it incredibly difficult to open. I like that these come in individual tins and that I can use whatever colors I want whenever I want, but the fact that I have to struggle to open up every single tin is kind of an issue for me. They also only give you one white. At least the HMI Jelly Gouache kit gives you 2. I'm just saying. These are oil paints. I bought yellow, red, and blue along with white and black. And these were actually gifted to me from my husband because I really wanted to try oil painting. Well, I don't have to say that it didn't work out. So anyway, I tried painting with these. I love the texture. They feel like butter, which is amazing, and blending is so easy. But I soon realized that I didn't know anything about oil painting. I didn't buy any of the oil or any of the necessary supplies to help me take care of these or to properly clean my brushes. So I just ended up with a bunch of oily brushes that I couldn't clean that are somewhere. Don't ask me where those went. I don't know. Hopefully one day I try oil painting again, but that day is not today. A similar experience happened with watercolor paints. These were really cheap watercolor paints that I bought from Walmart because I wanted to try watercolor. But yes, these cheap Walmart paints I highly regret. I don't want to get rid of them and I don't want to use them, so they just stay on my shelf mocking me for eternity. Rayon! Let me tell you about these rayon paint markers here. They seem like a good idea. They're very affordable. Don't get me wrong, if you can't afford Posca pens, these are a wonderful alternative. But every single one of these markers has exploded on me. They explode. It exploded on me. It exploded on my artwork. It was a mess. It was a disaster. And I don't want to use these ever again. Next. Arteza acrylic paints. My poor husband gifted this to me too because I really wanted to try Arteza, but there are 2 things that I don't like about this paint. You see that cap? It's tiny. And I've lost 5 of these and I can't find them. And when you lose a cap, the acrylic paint dries. And then you have to dig it out with your nails, and then you have to take a toothpick and jam it in there until the paint can finally come out. And now I got it all over me. The other issue that I have with this paint is that it's shiny. It's ridiculously shiny. Let me show you. I got it, you guys. Look at this. Look at how shiny it is. Look at that. I'm a content creator. I have cameras and lights shining on me from all angles. I can't have shiny paint like this. Markers. Do I even have to explain why these markers aren't my favorite thing? Do I? Do I? I'm a painter. Why do I have markers? metallic markers. And I know for a fact that I bought this set because it had a metallic purple. But because I don't like markers, I never used these. I don't even think I tried them. And to go along with the theme of metallic things, I regret buying metallic paint. I only used this in one painting. And this is a very big bottle. This isn't what you buy if you're just gonna do it one time. This is what you buy if you're gonna make a lot of art with it. Moving on. That covers all of the mediums that I don't like. Now we're going to be moving into paper and tools. Sketchbooks. I have unopened sketchbooks. I was going to get sketchy. I was going to do all the things, but I didn't because regular normal sketchbooks don't work for me. I am making a video that will make regular normal sketchbooks work for everybody, but until then, we have to accept that these are just sitting on my shelf mocking me. They're like, ha 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 ha, you don't like to sketch, you like to paint, and you can't paint in us. I imagine that's what it sounds like. But this little bag is full of those sponge tools. These are just so difficult to clean. Here's one. I tried to clean this, but it doesn't work very well with paint. It holds too much paint in it, and these paint palettes. You're probably thinking, Christine, why? Why do you hate these paint palettes? These are the most basic paint palettes. Everybody uses them. What is wrong with it? Why don't you like it? You're insane. But I'm not. And here's why. Let me show you. Here's an unclean palette. Here's another unclean palette. Here's another unclean palette. Not only are these paint palettes difficult to clean, but I have created a terrible habit where I use one and I don't clean it. It's madness. Here's another unclean paint palette. 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 I have a problem, y'all. And you know what I did? Instead of cleaning my paint palettes or taking the time to soak them, I just went on Amazon and I bought more in bulk. Don't buy these. Use something flat that you can scrape the paint off of and make it extremely easy for yourself to clean. But if you want to see more of my art supply review videos, go ahead and check out this playlist, and I'll see you there.